Godstones are a very important part of gameplay in Aion Classic because just one Proc can take you to victory or make you lose the battle. Stay with me for the next few minutes to see part of my live stream and to find out which are best Godstones of Aion Classic. Before we start, let me just say subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Twitch to see more of mmorpg content and of course Aion Classic content in the future. I'm live streaming every evening about 7 o'clock Central European time, so join me to see some gameplay and to find out what is happening in mmorpg and PC gaming world.
Okay, most expensive one. We need to check most expensive one. Usually they're the best, right? So we have here 190 million kina. This is, of course, silence. So you can see here, right? Silence. Silence one, absolutely good one. Target is silence for 8 seconds with 5% probability. That one is very nice. Next one, which you cannot see here. I don't see it. This one is damage, right? Should be blind or paralyzed, right? So these three are like the best in my experience. Silence, blind and paralyzed. I have played with all three of these in the past, right? And I would say that I had pretty good experience with blind. I was playing with my gladiator, okay, I need to say that also. Paralyzed, not that much. I didn't like paralyzed that much. I don't know why, but I didn't like it that much. Paralyzed have very nice effect. I like effect on your weapon, right, which you have when you socket paralyzed Godstone on your weapon. It's looking really good. However, I have enjoyed a lot with blind and silence. And at one point in time during update, I think it was like 5.x, there was one point in time when you could buy, if you had certain rank. Back then I was general, so I was able to buy Godstones, and I needed to buy Godstones because Godstones were breaking. Here, in this moment in time, Godstones are not breaking. However, back then, Godstones could break. They could destroy in your gear. There was very low probability for that. However, I remember once I have socket silence, and I had that silence Godstone maybe for half year. And then it broke. It was broken, right? It just break during when you are using your gear, right? And then I have socket blind, and my blind, it wasn't even 2 weeks. I have destroyed my blind. Blind have disappeared. However, luckily back then in I think it was 5.x update, I still remember position where I could buy from NPC those Godstones. I was able to buy a new Godstone very cheap. I don't remember was it for Abyss points or for Kina, and then socket again right in my gear. So I always had in my inventory in reserve another Godstone, right? So I was playing a lot with blind. And I had very nice actually experience with blind. It was procing a lot. I loved blind. Silence, also nice one. Probably the most used and one of the best Godstones in the game. I would say silence. And don't forget about paralyze. Paralyze, I didn't find that much enjoyable as blind or silence. However, it's very good Godstone. And what I loved, again, like I said about paralyze, beautiful effect on your weapon. It has really nice that lightning kind of effect on your weapon, right? Silence and blind don't have that beautiful effect, right? Regarding other Godstones in the game, you can see here, and this was very good question actually to talk about these Godstones this evening. There are many other Godstones. These ones are making, you can see here, fire damage. Here we have earth damage. You'll find lots of them on broker. Yes, they are tradable. Yes, you can get them in the game. There are also Godstones with the poison effect. You can see here, this is damage one. You can see here different kind of effects regarding, this one is regarding movement speed. Let's check this one, right? Adds a weapon effect that reduces the target's movement speed by 50% for 10 seconds with 5% probability. You can go for that. You can go for damage, one of the damage Godstones, right? There are different kind of, let's say, stats every Godstone have. So if you have like higher probability, like this one, 10%, then you will have a lower damage. This one will inflict 188 points of earth damage with 10% probability, right? On the other hand, if you have lower probability regarding procing your Godstone, then you have higher damage. Let's check, for example, this one, right? Look at this. This one have fire damage only with 1% probability, right? but 1880 damage. If this procs, you'll have really nice damage, right? But probability is only 1%. So I would say regarding these damage Godstones, you can decide for yourself, should you use them or not. It's entirely up to you. Let's say they could be viable to some point. They could be, but in my opinion at least, and I could advise to you, I'm playing Aion now for a long time, and I can try, when I say to you, trust me, and I can really try to play with all of these all of these Godstones. You know why? Because at one point in time, you don't have enough kina, right? You cannot buy Godstone which you want. Then you're using Godstone, well, the best you can get at that point in time. I can play even with this one. Look at this one. Inflicts 940 points of wind damage with 2% probability. Yes, I can play even with this one. Why? Because I couldn't afford myself silence, paralyze, or blind, right? So until the point you're able to socket something better, well, use damage one. Use damage one, the best which you can get, right? Will you pick one which have high damage and very low chance to procs, or will you choose the one which have higher chance to procs but with lower damage? That's up to you. These Godstones, the other Godstones which have like other effects regarding, look at this for example, right? This is Hellcat's Revenge. Adds a weapon effect that immobilizes the target for 10 seconds with 2% probability. Okay, this is another effect, right? Immobilization. For 10 seconds with 2% probability. You would say pretty nice. I mean, it's not bad, actually. I mean, not bad on one way. But still, this is nothing comparing with blind, paralyze, and on the end, I would say king of Godstones. Probably the best Godstone in the game, silence. Just consider if you are playing some physical classes like Gladiator. Like I have said, I have enjoyed a lot with blind. Blind was very nice, but paralyze, para is also absolutely, if it's proccing for you a lot, if you find it interesting, why not to play with paralyze? Other Godstones, absolutely at your will. Absolutely at your will. I wouldn't say, look, you are playing specific class, you need to use, for example, this damage one or movement speed or something. But all of these Godstones, you can see already by the price. The lower the price, Godstone is not that good, right? Not that good. We have even here this poisoning. Look at this, Orison Blood. I remember this one, Orison Blood. Look at this, inflicts 38 points of poisoning damage on the target every 2 seconds for 20 seconds with 10% probability. So this is dot. This is poison dot, right? This is dot damage over time. Again, many different versions of Godstones. You will find them here at Broker. You will drop some in open world. Check Broker, buy some. Buy something cheaper. I would recommend to you until you are able to afford yourself silence, blind, or paralyze. Buy something cheaper. Buy something cheaper, even bad one, like this one, bleeding, poisoning, dot, even movement speed, whatever, right? Use something which is not that good until you get opportunity to get yourself some nice, better Godstone, and that should be, I will say it one more time, right? To end this part of live stream regarding Godstones, you should go for silence, paralyze, or blind. In my experience, those are the best and sadly most expensive. Don't worry, you'll be able to earn lots of kina later in the game. This is now looking very expensive. For release of the game over there in Europe, these prices are also looking very expensive. You're looking here, Broker in North America, right? Update 2.5. However, don't forget, when we get the release of the game in Europe, Broker will be empty. Everything will be expensive. There won't be any kina in the game. Economy needs to generate kina in the game. However, after a few weeks, for sure after a few months, there will be much more Godstones on Broker to buy. Different kind of Godstones, better ones, worst ones. And also, you will have more kina. So you'll be able to afford yourself to buy some decent Godstone. For sure. Yeah, absolutely. If you are a new player, I can tell you right away, if you have never played Aion before, Godstones are very, very important. You need to use them. You need to socket them. If you are a veteran player, I don't need to tell you. I don't even need to tell you, right? However, I need to tell you right away, for this part of live stream, if you are a new player, if you are watching this during live stream or as my video on my YouTube channel, socket Godstones. At first, whatever you can get your hands on, later use silence, blind, or paralyze. Pick which you like the most. Trust me when I say silence is probably the best mana stone. Probably, I'm always confusing a little bit mana stone. Yeah, probably the best Godstone in the game. Following with that, blind and paralyze. That would be the best Godstones in the game. If you are watching this as a live stream, let's go forward with live stream. If you are watching this as video on my YouTube channel, thank you for watching the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Twitch to see more of mmorpg content and of course Aion Classic content in the future. I am live streaming every evening about 7 o'clock Central European Time, so join me to see some gameplay and to find out what is happening in mmorpg and PC gaming world. See you soon.